Hello class 11 students. I hope you have studied the method of nomenclature of organic compounds of alkanes and alkenes and alkynes as we have done it in the last classes. So today we are going to study a different system of nomenclature which you have only studied in very brief in class 10. So here you can see certain structures which are showing only the bonds. First, let us all try to understand what these bonds denote. Actually, whatever be the line in the figure, each line tells you about a bond between two carbon atoms. We are studying organic compounds. So here when you see the triangle, it is depicting three carbon atoms which are joined by single bonds, and this compound is forming a closed ring, so it is called cyclic compound. And since three carbon atoms are there, so it should be having number root as prop. And since all the bonds are single bonds only, we don't see any multiple bonds here, so it will be belonging to alkane series. So this is named as propane, and since it is forming a closed ring, so the prefix cyclo is added. So name of the compound becomes cyclopropane. And in the same way, the next compound which you see, it is having four bonds in a closed ring, and except that all other valencies are satisfied by hydrogen atoms, as is very visible. So this compound will be called as cyclobutane, four carbon atoms and no multiple bonds. Same way we can understand cyclopentane also. Now, if we have to name a compound which is having some substitutes in the cyclic compound, for example, as you see, we have a compound in which a triangle is there, and at two apex of the triangle, two methyl groups are added. So first problem arises that since it's a closed ring, so from where to start the numbering of carbon atoms, because if there is a substitute, we need to use the number or the locant to mention the position of substitute. So the very simple rule is followed that says you have to allot a smallest possible number to every substitute. Now if you start numbering from any carbon atom which is a substitute, you can see there are two methyls. So if you number them in the shown manner, both the methyls are getting 1 and 2 respectively. Now if you start numbering the other way, for example, you write 1 here and 2 is given to other carbon, in that case also name does not change, it does not vary. But the thing is, these two carbons cannot be given number 3. So in both the cases, name of compound becomes 1,2-dimethyl, and cyclopropane was the parent compound. So it will remain as such. Now one question arises at times that why are we using propane, because propane is C3H8. But C3H8 is a non-cyclic acyclic compound. Whenever we have a cyclic compound, you can see the formulas change. Like for cyclopropane, its formula was C3H6. Cyclobutane was C4H8. And if there is a substitute, any of the hydrogen is replaced, in that case, the substitute is taken as a replacement of hydrogen, and we take the parent compound as and when required. So name becomes 1,2-dimethyl cyclopropane for this compound written. Now for the next compound, as we observe, here both the alkyls are not same, they are both different. So again a problem will arise, which alkyl to be given lower number. Here we follow alphabetical order. So if you see, I have allotted 1 to ethyl and 2 to methyl. Since E comes beforehand, so ethyl should be given number 1 and methyl should be given number 2. That is the same rule which is followed in aliphatic compounds also. If there are two substitute at the same distance from both the ends, then one which comes earlier in alphabetical order, that is given lesser number. So that rule we can follow. Now the next one is, you have cyclopentane, but it is no longer ane. If you see the compound, there is a double bond in the compound. Now since there is one double bond, it is no longer alkane. So compound is written as ene. And as aliphatic compounds have this rule that alkene should be given minimum possible number, least possible number locant. At the same time, we have to maintain there is methyl also present, which should be given least number. Now if we start numbering clockwise, so in that case this carbon becomes 1, this is 2, 3, 4, and this carbon will be 5. So now methyl will be getting number 5. So this system will not be applied. So our compound remains to be 3-methyl cyclopent-1-ene. Now methyl cannot get any lesser number than 3, because if we are starting numbering from the alkene, first both the carbons included in double bond should be numbered. We cannot do that we start numbering 1 here, 1 here, and then 2 here. In that case alkenic carbon will be left, so even this will go wrong. This will not be followed. Whatever we have done earlier, only that has to be followed. So can we understand this one? I hope this cyclic system of nomenclature must be clear to you. The next group of organic compounds which has to be studied for nomenclature is compounds containing halogens. Now you all know halogens, there are basically 4 halogen atoms: fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. So if any of these elements is present along with the carbon chain, we call the compounds to be compounds containing halogens, or we can say haloalkanes. So here we are going to consider basically how to name halogens. Rest of the rules will be applied as per the guidelines studied earlier. Those rules are generally not violated at all. Only thing is how you have to place a halogen in the compound. So first rule says halo plus alkane. So it will be applied up to 2 carbons only. We can say chloromethane, bromomethane, this all we have studied. In chloroethane, 1,2-dichloroethane, that we have studied. But as soon as carbon numbers exceed 3, we cannot mention a compound accurately without mentioning the position of substitutes. For example, if you are writing chloropropane, then chloropropane may have these two types of structures. One is this and another one is this. So in the first one, you see chlorine is present at carbon number 1, and in the second one, chlorine is present at carbon number 2. So if you don't write these numbers, name of the compound will be incomplete, as it is not mentioning in which place halogen is attached. So we will try to avoid writing chloropropane, rather we'll write 1-chloropropane, which will be more accurate. Next we come to polyhalogen compounds. Polyhalogen means we have more than one halogen atom in the given compound. So now you see, first rule, lowest sum of locant is applied here also. So when you are seeing there are two chlorine atoms attached in a 3-carbon system, their position numbering according to the previous rules. First one is 1,2-dichloropropane. In the second compound, when you see, there are two chlorines present at equal distance from either side. So in both the cases, it will be 2,3-dichloro and parent name becomes butane only. Now one problem arises that when there are two different halogens present in the carbon chain, now what to do? Now here you see there is one bromine and another chlorine. These are present with the propane. Now what you see, there are two rules to be followed. First one says the lowest sum rule, means chlorine and bromine should be numbered in such a way that total sum of locants is least. That can be 1 and 2 only. This is 1 and this is 2. So chlorine gets number 1 and bromine gets number 2. But while writing the name, we follow alphabetical order. So although bromine is given number 2, but it is reported first in the name. So name of the compound becomes 2-bromo 1-chloropropane. So this needs to be very well remembered. That alphabetical order has to be followed, but numbering के लिए आप lowest sum rule ही follow करेंगे. Next we come to other compound, which is written to the right hand side. Here you see there are 3 different halogen atoms. One is chlorine, iodine and bromine. Now I have numbered it, one with the black pen and other with the red pen. So in the black pen, when we see the numbering, sum of locants comes out to be 7. But the second way, as if you wish to number it like that, sum of locants comes out to be 8. So which we follow? The first one. And while writing name, we follow alphabetical order once again. So now B, then C and then I. So this becomes 4-bromo 1-chloro 2-iodo butane. So this will be the correct method of naming a polyhalogen compounds. Poly means where there are many halogens present. So try to follow these rules and practice naming different halogen compounds very thoroughly, as this is the basis of your understanding of organic. You are not confined to nomenclature only, you have to go further to reactions and reaction mechanism as well. So if you are not able to identify a compound with its name, your whole concept of understanding the mechanism goes wrong. So try to practice as much as you can, and we will be discussing all the problems on the WhatsApp group. You're free to put it there. You can discuss among yourself, or you can ask on the group also, so that you are through with it. So once it is followed, it will be easier for us to understand nomenclature of further compounds. The next group of organic compounds that should be studied is alcohols. Now let us try to remember what you have studied in class 10. You have studied methanol and ethanol in the organic chemistry. So all the alcohols are identified by a special arrangement of hydroxyl group, oxygen and hydrogen. So whenever you see oxygen linked to hydrogen, it is identified as now the next group of compounds which we have to study is nomenclature of alcohols. Now alcohols we have studied in class 10, methanol and ethanol we have studied there. So here alcohol is basically a general arrangement of oxygen and hydrogen in a compound. So whenever any organic compound, make sure you are talking about organic compounds, because when it comes to inorganic, OH is identified as hydroxide. So alcohol means it is an organic system of carbon chains only. So this OH part is identified as alcohol. Rule is quite similar to that of halogens. Alkane plus all, but here if you see there are two vowels coming one after the other, so one of the vowels has to be lost. So what we generally do is we remove E from alkane and your final name becomes alkanol. So rule becomes locant plus number root plus ane, E has been removed, and all, so that becomes 2-propanol. You can write it like that, or the same may be written as number root plus ane plus locant. Locant is now written in between, just before all, and other one is number root plus ane plus all plus locant. It means locant is written at the end. So here we have written all three forms. Now first one says 1-propanol. It means OH is linked to carbon number 1 here. So this is 1-propanol. Now the same compound may be written as propane 1-ol. Here locant is written in between. And third method of writing is propanol 1. Here also locant is 1, but it is written at the end. So all these three systems are correct. You can use any one of them, and all are correct methods. We use them as per requirement. So when you keep practicing different names, you will be through about which name should be used where. Same way, the next compound which is written here, it is named as 2-propanol, since all is present at carbon number 2. Now let us study some complex structures. That is, if branches are present, then alcoholic groups are given lowest possible number. See, the compound now has a quite long carbon chain which is of 5 carbon atoms. OH is present at one end and there are 2 branches. So as a rule, we will start numbering from that end where OH is given least number. Now branches which are having carbons only, they are not given priority, rather the functional group, the OH is given the priority. So OH will be given number 1 and rest we follow rules as we have studied. 3,4-dimethyl, then 5 carbons chain, that is pentane, then all after removing E, and then 1 is written at the end. Now if you wished, you could have also written 1 pentanol or pentane 1 all, that will also go correct. So this is the rule for naming any monohydroxy alcohols, means there is only one OH. Now we have to proceed. What if there are more than one OH groups in the compound? More than one OH. Here we make sure that two OH are not put at the same carbon. That is an unstable system. So it is not generally studied at your level. We'll try to understand that later. But here what is there is, on two different carbon atoms, there are two OH groups present. Now since there are two carbons, compound is ethane, and to mention two hydroxy groups, we are using the term di before all. So now since two vowels are not coming one after the other together, E is not eliminated. So how we write the name? Ethane for two carbons, then locants 1 and 2, and then diol. Di means 2, all means hydroxyl. So ethane 1,2-diol is name of the compound given. Now same way the other compound which is having 3 carbon atoms, carbon chain of 3 carbons, propane, then position, and then triol. Tri means there are 3 hydroxy groups present. Now let us come to the next compound which is written here. It is a long chain again having 2 OH. Now from where to start numbering, that is another problem again. Now which rule helps us? Yes, the lowest sum rule. We'll try to number it in that manner that total sum of locants is least. So you can understand, if we are starting from left hand side, locants are 2 and 4. If we are starting from right hand side, it will be 3 and 5. 2, 4, 6, 3, 5, 8 will follow 2, 4 system. So OH are present at carbon number 2 and carbon number 4. So it becomes 2, 4 hexane, since 6 carbon atom chain is there, and diol. You can also write hexane 2,4-diol. That will also not go wrong. So this was one method of nomenclature of alcohols.